Alright, so we are here with, we're going to do another video. Yesterday we did one with Nadia talking about the benefits of cross-training with running. Today we have another athlete, one of my athletes that I currently work with here at Titan Edge. So his name is Eli. So he's a baseball player, but he also did play football in high school, but now he's in college playing baseball. So today's video is going to focus on, one, if he thinks lifting weights and doing strength training and power-based training is important for baseball athletes. And then two, he's going to provide anyone that's watching this, if you're in high school, junior high, and your goal is to play sports in college, kind of something that maybe he can provide some information, some tips about what he's experienced. This is your second year? Second year in college, playing baseball for a really recognized school. So something that he can provide younger athletes, kind of a little tip or a little heads up to prepare them when they're in college. So really quick introduction. So just kind of your name, your sport, and then we'll kind of take it from there.
So I'm Elias Ledesma. I play outfield at Cypress College, JC, and I'm a sophomore now. And
what high school did you go to?
Santa Fe High School.
So you went to Santa Fe High School, pretty local high school. And Cypress College, for you that don't know, it's a community college, but it's a really well-recognized school specifically for baseball. They're usually top 5 ranked, in Southern California, top 10 in California, and a lot of high school athletes go to that college, play for a year, maybe 2, and then they end up transferring out to Division I. So it's a really highly competitive environment. So that's something I definitely want to touch on. Anything else that you can add to it? Any other sports? Just baseball?
Yeah, just baseball right now.
So baseball athlete, but he did play football in high school. So really quick, can you touch on a little bit as far as kind of our training and how it's helped you as far as a baseball athlete? And do you believe that strength training, because a lot of baseball athletes don't do it, do you think it's beneficial to a baseball athlete?
I think any type of training for any sport is beneficial, depending on just how you train and how dedicated you are, and how hard you put the work in. One thing is that I learned coming here, just with athletic training, other than just bodybuilding that I used to do in high school, I learned that if you don't train for your specific sport, then you're not going to get the same bang for your buck than you are just lifting weights just to get big. You got to take the movements that are in your sport and put it in your training, so you'll just progress that much more. Yeah, spot on.
So I think that's something that a lot of people make a mistake is they use, and again, when you're younger, as a young athlete, when I work with younger athletes, it's really teaching them all basic movements, how to jump, how to run, how to stop, how to change your directions and things like that. As you get a little progress, as far as your age and when you start to move up into college, professional ranks, it can become a little bit more specific. So kind of already touched on, I think that's something that as trainers we see a lot is athletes just training how they would train like as a bodybuilder. So they're doing a lot of arm training, a lot of chest training, as opposed to a lot of the muscles that basically a sport that is going to demand. So think of like your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back, your upper back, a lot of the muscles that you can't see in the mirror. But yeah, I mean, I personally have gone to his games, and I can see the way he's moving. He's much more explosive. Right now, we're currently in the off season, so we're trying to build him back up. So we're working on some of his weaknesses. We're trying to put some muscle on his body, and then slowly as we progress, we're going to start to do a little bit more strength training, working to get him really strong, and then it starts to become a little bit more explosive. So great point. I think it's one of those things a lot of people that are watching this video is training for aesthetics, meaning the way you look, is very different than training for athletics. A lot of times, some of the sessions that he comes in, kind of like today, we focus on injury prevention. So it wasn't about getting bigger arms, bigger legs. It was really about training the muscles so they can prepare to stop at a high rate, so he doesn't pull a hamstring or pull a groin. And I think that's something that a lot of athletes miss is it can't always be about putting a bigger engine. Sometimes it could just be about making sure you're staying healthy and you're actually being able to play on the field. So great point. So let's talk about last thing. Is one important thing that maybe you can pass along to younger athletes that want to play in college. Maybe it could be about nutrition, time management, something that you've experienced in these past 2 years that maybe you would have liked to know before you entered college. Any tip that you can provide them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is time management. You don't realize until you're in it that how much time you don't have on your hands just going through, especially during season.
Yeah.
Especially if you have like night classes or class during the morning, or morning weights. Like for instance, like on a Monday during season, we'd have weights at 6 o'clock. Have to be up at like 5:30. Go to weights. I'll have class at 8, and I'll have like an hour gap to get some breakfast before I go to class. Then I'll probably have class till about 12, and practice is at 1. So I'd go right to the locker room, get dressed, go to practice. Practice from 1 to about 3:30, 4 o'clock maybe. And then right after that, if I have a night class, I have a night class at like 6. So I'll have a gap to do some homework or something, but even if I have class at 6, it's probably a 3-hour class once a week. So I'll be done at like 9, 9:30. And by then, you're gonna have to do it all over again tomorrow. So just that time management.
Yeah, so I think that's something that's really important. Sometimes people have a perception that once you're a college athlete, that's kind of relaxed, it's chill. It's like your schedule is much more demanding than just your typical college student. It's like some things you got to make sure you're eating, make sure you're recovering, make sure you're going to your tutors, make sure you're going to your athletics, your meetings and things like that. So it's a full day, it's a full-time job. So I think if you're a high school athlete, start to get into those habits. If you're not working out, start to work out so you get used to what it feels to be sore and you're going into practice, what it feels to like devote an hour of your day to weight training, and then you got to eat and then you got to practice. So I think starting early would be a really, really beneficial thing for younger athletes. Because once you get into college, like it's the coaches are relying on you that you're doing what you're supposed to do. If you're not at the meetings, if you're not on top of your grades, they're gonna either kick you off the team or they're gonna put you on suspension, and they might even bench you. And now the next man is gonna come and take your spot. So it's one of those things they can't. It's not just about being great at your sports. It's being great at managing your time, making sure you're eating, you're taking food, or whatever it may be. But start to do that young, because like how Eli just talked about, is once you get to college, bang. The time is limited, and how you spend your time is going to be really, really important for you to develop as an athlete, as a student, because again, there's a lot of competition at a college like Cypress. Is if he's not getting the grades that he's supposed to, they can easily get someone else to replace him, and his college dream of playing college athletics is going to be over. So extremely important points from someone that's actually in college, playing sports, in school, taking summer classes and things like that. So something I think a lot of y'all can learn from this video is strength training, really important to baseball. Again, not just for hitting the ball harder, but injury prevention, confidence. I think it's like when you look good, you play good, you're going to feel good. And then time management once you get to college is really important. So if you have any questions or comments for Eli or for myself, you can drop them in the comment section below. You can tag other people, maybe tag some younger high school youth athletes on the video, or share it, even better, and then we can start some discussion. Once you guys leave some comments, we can make another video and talk a little bit about what you all are interested in talking about. But again, thank you, Eli, for taking the time after his training day to talk to y'all and give you all some great advice. And we'll make another video next time. And again, any comments or questions you have, just drop them in the comment section below. Cool? All right, man. Stick it out. Sweet.